Morning students, today we are going to see lesson number 4, Maharashtra before the times of Shivaji Maharaj. At the beginning of the 17th century CE, most of the territory in the Maharashtra was under the control of Nizam Shah of Ahmednagar and Adil Shah of Bijapur. The Mughal had entered the Khandesh. Their objective was to expand their power in the south. There were settlement of Siddhi people who had come from the Africa along the coastline of the Konkan. The competition and conflict among the Portuguese, the British, the French, and the Dutch who had come from Europe was getting intense during this period. There was a stiff competition among them to capture the market for the trade. The Portuguese has already established their rule in Goa and Vasai on the western coastline. The British, the Dutch, and the French had found an entry through the medium of trading companies by stepping up factories. All this power assessed the strength of other powers, kept themselves safe, and tried to dominate as much as possible. This conflict had created instability and insecurity in Maharashtra. These different people from Europe were called the Topkar. What they call Topkar on the basis of customary headgear. Okay. Now it is necessary to get acquainted with the villages, or it's called the Mauza, Kasba and Pargana, to understand the nature of settlement in that period, and as also the officers that formed a link between the rulers and their subjects, and also as the market and craftsmen. Pargana was made up from many villages. Generally, the headquarters of Pargana was called the Kasba. What is the Mauza? Small village is called the Mauza, and Pargana is called the many villages is called the Pargana, and generally the headquarters of the Pargana was called the Kasba. A village smaller than the Kasba was called the Mauza. Let us get acquainted with the brief with the village, Kasba and Pargana respectively. First we are going to see now Mauza or the village. Most of the people lived in a village. A village was also called a Mauza. The chief of the village was the Patil. He used to try to bring maximum land under the cultivation. When there was any dispute in the village, the Patil resolved it and made the peace. A Kulkarni helped the Patil in his work. The Kulkarni kept the record of the revenue that was collected. There were various artisans in the village. They had hereditary rights regarding their occupations. The peasants gave a share of their agriculture, produced to artisans for the services they rendered to the village's community. This share is known as the Baluta. Next we are going to see the Kasba. Kasba was like a big village. It was usually the headquarters of the Pargana, that is Indapur Kasba of Indapur Pargana, Wahi Kasba of Wahi Pargana, were the headquarters of those Parganas. Agriculture was the main occupation. There were skilled artisans like carpenter, blacksmith, etc. In a Kasba, there was usually a market or a pet adjacent to a Kasba. The Shete and Mahajan were the Watandars of the pet. Every village did not necessarily have a pet. The setting up of a pet was a job of the Shetes and the Mahajans. For that, they received some land from the government and some rights from the villagers. The Mahajan maintained the account of the pet. Now we are going to see Pargana. Many villages together made a Pargana, but a number of villages was not the same in all Parganas. For example, the Pune Pargana was a big Pargana. It consists 290 villages. There were 64 villages in the Chakan Pargana. The Shirwar Pargana was small. It has only 40 villages. The Deshmukh was the chief officer. Deshmukh and Deshpande were the Watandars officers of the Pargana. The Deshmukh was chief of the Patils in a Pargana. The Deshmukh did the Pargana level. What the Patil did not at the village level, Deshpande was the chief of the Kulkarnis in the Parganas. The Deshpande did at the Pargana level. The work that Kulkarnis did at the village level, these Watandars officers were linked between the people and the government. In case of enemy invasion or draft, these Vatandas represent their grievances of the people to the government. Sometimes these officers misuse their powers. They collected more money from the people than was due or did not remit the money so collected to the government in time. On such occasion, the people suffered harassment. Now we are going to see the calamity of a famine. Agriculture was dependent on rainwater. If it did not rain, crops would fail. The prices of food grain rose. It became difficult for the people to get food grains and other things. There was no fodder for the cattle. Water became scarce. It became difficult for people to live in the village. They were forced to leave the village. A famine was a great calamity for the people. A great famine occurred in Maharashtra in 1630 CE. People were greatly distressed due to this famine. It has been described in this word. What words are there? People were ready to sell themselves for a piece of bhakri, but there was nobody to buy them. There was a severe scarcity of food grain. Entire families were destroyed. Cattle and farm animals died. Agriculture was devastated. The famine put an end to industries. All financial transactions came to a standstill. People had to wander to faraway regions in search of a livelihood. It was a great challenge to bring back to normalcy the devastated life of the people. Now, in that all condition, we are going to see now in that period what is the work of the Warkari movement or a sons. Society was greatly influenced by the blind beliefs and rituals. People had become the fatalists and insert. They had lost all intuitives. The condition of the common people was miserable. In such circumstances, the Sant of Maharashtra endeavored to inspire the masses. In Maharashtra, the tradition of sants, which began with the Sant Jnaneshwar and Sant Namdev, was carried on by sants coming from the various satra of the society. People from all strata of society were part of the Sant tradition. For example, Sant Chokhamera, Sant Goroba, Sant Sena, Sant Sauta, Sant Narhari, Sant Sheikh Muhammad, etc. Sant Chokhoba's wife Sant Soirabai and sister Sant Nirmalabai, Sant Muktabai, Sant Janabai, Sant Kanhopatra, Sant Bahinabai, Shirurkar and other women also among them. Pandharpur was the center of the Sant movement. Vittal was the object of their worship. On the banks of the river Chandrabhaga at Pandharpur, the sons and pilgrims used to rejoice in their devotion. Their equality was propagated through the bhajans, kirtans and unity means kala. Now first sant we are going to see the work Sant Namdev. He was a great sant of the Warkari movement. He was a skilled organizer. He performed excellent kirtans as well. He awakened the sense of the equality in men and women belonging to all castes through the medium of the kirtans. His play was Nachu Kirtanache Rangi, Jnanalip, Lau Jagi. His Abhanga compositions are well known. Many sant as well as common people were influenced by the teaching. He went up to the Punjab, propagating his thoughts. His compositions are included in Guru Granth Sahib of Sikhs. He propagated the message of Bhagavad religion in all quarters. He built a memorial to Sant Chokhamera at Pandharpur. His work was unforgettable. Next Sant we are going to see Sant Jnaneshwar. He was a great Sant in the Varkari movement. He wrote the Bhavartha Deepika or Jnaneshwari, which elucidated the meaning of the Sanskrit Bhagavad Gita. He also composed the Amrutanabhav. He preached the importance of the path of devotion through his work and composition. He showed a simple way of worship and conduct which the common people could follow easily. He gave the prestige of religion to the Varkari movement. Though his life was spent in extremely adverse circumstances, he never lost the calm of his mind and never harbored bitterness. His Pasayadani Jnaneshwari uplifts the minds. The poetic composition of these brothers, Sant Nivruttinath and Sant Sopandev and Sister Muktabai, are well known. Next Sant name it is Sant Eknath. He was a great Sant of the Bhakti movement in Maharashtra. His compositions are many and diverse. They include the Abhanga, Gaudan, Bharud, etc. He had started Bhagavad Dharma in detail and in simple manner. He had portrayed people's life in Bhavartha Ramayan through the story of Ram. He explained in Marathi the Bhakti part of the Sanskrit word Bhagavad. His Abhangas show the warmth of devotion. He demonstrated through his own conduct that there is no need to renounce worldly matters for attaining the highest truth, Paramartha. He was teacher of the people in the true sense of the term. He believed that our Marathi language was inferior to no other language. He asked the Sanskrit scholar forcefully, संस्कृत वाणी देवे केली तर पाकृत काय स्वरापासून झाली. He heavily criticized those who hated other religions. Next Sant name it is a Sant Tukaram. He belonged to Dehu near Pune. His compositions or abhangas are very pleasing and lucid, reaching the greatest poetic heights. His Gatha is precious teacher of the Marathi language. He asks us to find the God by showing love and unhappy and the tormented in the following lines. जे का रंजले गांजले त्यासी म्हणे जो आपले तोची साधो ओळखावा देव तेथेची जाणावा. With the viewpoint he threw in the river Indrayani, the document of the loans that people had borrowed from him and freed many poor families from the bonds of a loan. He criticized the hypocrisy and superstition in the society in very strong terms. He stressed that devotion should be coupled with the morality. His teaching can be summed up as जोडोनिया धन उत्तम व्यवहारे उदास विचारे वेच करी. Some dogmatic people opposed the social awakening that he had undertaken and sunk his abhangas in the Indrayani. Sant Tukaram faced the oppositions with the noble courage. Sant Tukaram disciples and associates were of different castes and creeds. They include Nauji Mari, Gaunar Shetwani, Santaji Jagnade, Shivba Kalsar, Bahinabai Shururkar, and Mahadaji Pant Kulkarni. An important task completed by the Gangaram Pant Mawar and Santaji Jagnade was writing down the abhangas of the Sant Tukaram. Now we are going to see the work of the Sant. Sant gave the message of equality to the people. They taught the humanity. They preached that people should live together in harmony, unity and love. Their work resulted in society awakening. They taught how to live in the face of foreign invasion, drought-like situation, or any other natural calamities. Their teaching proved to be a big support for people. Their work created self-confidence among the people of Maharashtra. There was a deterioration of ethics, and religions in the society. At such a time, the Sant came forward to protect the society. They taught the true meaning of religion. They showed the path of the devotion by living amongst the people and the sharing their joys and sorrows. Some